Okay, so if you can see my screen, please type in a 1 on the chat box. If you can see my screen, please type in a 1 on the chat box. Okay, good, good. So in the course of the training, please, if you have questions, drop your questions in the Q&A section. So you'll be seeing the Q&A section on your screen. Please, if you have any questions while we go on in the training, drop your question in the Q&A section. The question will be attended to at the end of the section so that we can all go. And I hope we are all with our paper and biro because we are in class and it's important you jot. Okay, so let's kickstart. Now, for today, I will assume that everyone here has no knowledge when it comes to trading the financial market. So I want to assume that everybody here are just getting started into the industry. So we are going to start from the elementary stage, which is what exactly is Forex. Now, everyone has heard at one time or the other have heard about Forex, and the question is, what exactly is Forex? Now, Forex is gotten from the word foreign exchange. So it is gotten from the word foreign exchange. And basically, when we say Forex, it is the simultaneous exchange of one currency against another. The simultaneous exchange of one currency against another. Now, what do I mean by this? Let me assume that Mr. Abiodun John decides to buy dollar. Let me assume that Mr. Abiodun John decides to buy dollar. And he decides he wants to go to the black market. So you went to meet Mr. John went to meet the Aboki. Now, Mr. John meeting the Aboki, the first question is going to ask the Aboki is, how much is dollar? Now, who can tell me, as at the point where Mr. John went to meet an Aboki, what currency does Mr. John have? Please drop it on the chat. Now, he wants to buy dollar. He has gone to meet an Aboki. As at the point he is going to meet an Aboki, what currency does he have? Yeah, this is a question. Who can tell me what currency? Naira. Thank you, Mr. Jacob. Thank you, Mr. Jacob Obi. Is the first person that answered. Thank you, Mr. Jacob Obi. So basically, as at the point where Mr. John went to meet an Aboki, Mr. John has Naira, which is a currency acceptable in Nigeria. That is it. And at the same time, he wants the dollar, which is another currency acceptable in US. So it means that as that when, let's assume, okay, the Aboki told Mr. John the price and they agreed. And at the end of the day, the transaction was successful. The moment Mr. John collects the dollar and he has paid the Naira, then we can say Forex has taken place. And that is why we say Forex can be defined as the simultaneous exchange of one currency against another currency. If we are together, please let's wave our hands. If we are together, please wave your hands. Okay, good, good. I want to be sure that we are all getting it. Now, Forex is one of the largest trading markets. It's one of the largest trading markets with a global daily turnover estimated to exceed $7.2 trillion. So it means that as at when this slide was prepared, the volume of capital that exchanges hands on a daily basis in the financial market is $7.2 trillion. And basically, when we say exchanges hands, what it means is this. Someone's Mr. A's profit is Mr. B's loss. So it has to do with your smartness. That is what determines your profit in this business. That is your skill set and your smartness. So basically, the volume of capital that exchanges and in which you have the capacity of getting access to is $7.2 trillion. Now, the question is, how much do you want from this market on a daily basis? That is a question that you should always ask yourself. Why do I say you should always ask yourself this question? I do tell people that in the financial market, especially for those that are joining the market newly, it is expected that you have a daily target profit. I repeat, it is expected that you should have a daily target profit, in which when you get to this profit on a daily basis, please leave the market. achieve or you actualize this profit, even if you actualize this profit 8 a.m. in the morning, please leave the market. Now, the truth is, if you feel that, it's the money is still bright, I can still make much more, the funniest thing is you might end up losing much more. You might end up losing much more. And that is why when you enter the market, always have a daily target in which when this daily target is met, please leave the market. Are we together? So also, you are expected to have a daily target loss. The same way you have a daily target profit, you are expected to have a daily target loss, in which when you lose this money on a daily basis, please leave the market. Do not say, I want to, I must get my money back. No, it doesn't work that way. When you hit this daily target loss, please leave the market for that day. Because basically, this business is more of psychological. So it's better that you play smart and have a daily target profit. Now, the question is, how do you determine your daily target profit? How do you determine your daily target profit? And how do you determine your daily target profit loss? Now, what I do tell people is this. In determining your daily target profit, you are expected, it is determined by your capital. Now, don't tell me that, my daily target profit is $7.2 trillion when you just have $100 in your trading account. That's not realistic. So when we say your daily target profit, it should be determined by your capital. Now, what do I do? What do I mean by this? Now, basically, I tell people that for those that are coming into the industry newly, your daily target profit should range between 1% and 2% of your capital, maximum, because you are still new in the business. Your maximum daily profit should be 2% of your capital. Now, if 2% of your capital is not sufficient for your budget or for your expenses on a daily basis, then it's good for you to go and increase your capital, not risking too much. It's important that you should stick with the daily target profit. Do not break the rules, please. So basically, if you know that, I have $100 and my daily target profit using $100 is $2, and $2 is too small for you, please go and increase your capital. Do not increase the rules. Now, when you have a daily target profit, let's say if you have a daily target profit to be 1% of your capital, then your daily target loss should be 0.5% of your capital. Now, the essence of this is this. If today I hit my daily target loss, and tomorrow I hit my daily target profit. Now, with my rules, then for tomorrow that I got my daily target profit, it should be able to cover for my yesterday's loss, and at the end of the day, I'm still in a net profit. That is how it works. So it should be, if your daily target profit is 1% of your capital, then your daily target loss should be 0.5% of your capital. And if your daily target profit is 2% of your capital, then your daily target loss should be 1% of your capital. Please, if you understand this, just wave your hand. If you understand this, please wave your hand. Okay. So we are still together. Perfect. So let's go on. Remember, if you have any question, you can drop your question in the Q&A section. If you have any question, you can drop your question in the Q&A section. Now, the next topic is, what exactly can be traded in the Forex market? What exactly can be traded in the Forex market? That we say Forex is a simultaneous exchange of currencies doesn't mean that it is only currencies that can be traded. We have other instruments that can be traded in the foreign exchange market. And number one is currencies. Now, every world currencies can be traded in the financial market. Every world currency can be traded in the financial market. Now, number two thing that can be traded is stocks. And basically, US stocks, we have the UK stocks. This can be traded in the financial market. The third one is oil. Oil can also be in the financial market. Now, the fourth is metals. And other metals, we have gold and silver. All these can be traded in the financial market. We have indices. Indices can also be traded in the financial market. We have commodities like cocoa, rubber. All these are commodities, and they can be traded in the financial market. And lastly, we have cryptocurrencies. Now, all these instruments can be traded in the financial market. But for the purpose of our 2 weeks training, we will only be looking at currencies. Now, why we are looking at currencies is because we believe that if you have a good knowledge on this, you can replicate this knowledge on any other instrument listed here, and you will get the same desired result. So that is why, instead of we picking it randomly, let's just stick with one. And when you go on in this business, you cannot decide on what instrument you want to continue trading with. If we are together, please type in yes on the chat box. If we are together, please type in yes on the chat box. Okay, good. Okay, I want to be sure that we are all together. Good, that's good. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go to the next topic. Thank you. I can see people. Thank you very much. I'm really grateful. Okay, so let's go to the next topic. The next topic is what are the most traded currencies? What are the most traded currencies? Now, most people will be asking, why do I need to know the most traded currency? The reason why you need to know the most traded currency is this. Remember I said, when we are defining what Forex is, I said, Mr. A's profit is Mr. B's loss. Now, it means that the only reason you're going to make money in the financial market is if you are trading what other traders are trading. Now, funny enough, we have Naira in the financial market. This is how it's being written, NGN-USD. NGN-USD. Yeah, we have it in the financial market. But you know the funniest thing about this? It doesn't move. It doesn't move. Now, if you say because you are a Nigerian, you want to invest in your country and you decide to stick with trading the NGN-USD, I'm so sorry for you. You will be there for almost 3 years and you may not make money, and you're tying down your money. And that is why, as a trader, it is important for you to know what are those currencies that other traders are trading. So it is when you trade what other traders are trading, that is the only reason you will make money, because people's money will be there. And if it goes your direction, then you make the money. Are we together? Now, if you look at my chart here, we can see that the most traded currency here is what? The US dollar. The US dollar. And we can see that 87% of, approximately 88% of the traders all over the world trade the US dollar. 88% of the traders all over the world trade the US dollar. Now, the second one is the euro. Now, the euro, we have 31% of the traders all over the world trade the euro. The next one is the Japanese yen. Now, we can see that 21% of the trader trade the Japanese yen. The fourth one is the Great Britain pound. The Great Britain pound. And we can see that 30% of the traders all over the world trade the Great Britain pounds. We have the Australian dollar. And we can see that 7% of the traders all over the world trade the Australian dollar. We have the Canadian dollar. 5% of the traders trade Canadian dollar. We have the Swiss francs. Approximately 5% of the traders trade the Swiss francs. Now, one thing I want us to notice this. Please, let's note this down. From Swiss francs upward, they are referred to as the major currency. We are going to use these as we go on into this class. Now, from Swiss francs upward, we call them the major currency. Why from this Chinese downward, they are known as the minor currency. We're going to use this as we go on. From Swiss francs upward, they are known as the major currency. While from Chinese downward, they are known as the minor currencies. If we are together, please wave your hands. I want to be sure we are all together, so I'm not alone. Okay, yeah, I can say I'm not alone. Thank you very much. I can say I'm not alone. So this, please, I want us to notice, from Swiss francs upward, they are referred to as the major currency. While from Chinese downward, they are referred to as the minor currency. Now let's go to the next slide. Let me clean this off so that it will not be applying on our, it will not be showing on the next slide. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. The major players. Who are the major players in the FX industry? Now, I like to call this group of people the market makers, the market manipulators. I love to refer to them as the market maker. Okay, Mr. Kenny is saying, please, I can't see the screen properly. Please, if you can see my screen, please type in 1 on the chat board. Let me be sure it's not the network from his end. If you can see my screen properly, clearly, please type in 1. Oh. Okay, so Mr. Kenny, please check your network. You can see people are dropping in 1, so it means they can see my screen. Thank you. So Mr. Kenny, please check your network. It's possible it's from your end. Okay, someone is advising that you can zoom in. Maybe that will help you. Someone is Madam Patient, I don't know. Madam Patient is saying maybe you should try to zoom in. So you can try that too if it's going to help. Thank you, Madam Patient, for that response. Okay, so let's look at the major players in the FX industry. As I said, I like to call these people the market makers, the market manipulators. And now the question is, what makes them the major player? What exactly makes them the major player? Now, basically, what makes this category of people the major player has to do with the volume of capital that they have to enter the market. Now, it means that when this set of people enter the market itself will feel their presence. Now, the truth is, either we accept it or not, our $100 is not going to move the market. It's not going to affect the market. They will just chop it and nobody will know they chop your money. That's the truth. But when this set of people, when they enter the market, their presence is being felt. Why? Because of the volume of capital that they have to inject into the market at a particular time. So that is why you don't want to trade against their direction. You don't want to trade against their direction because they will eat your money without even feeling it, because it's not even your money they are targeting. They have bigger funds they are targeting. So that is why you don't want to target. And now, when we look at these people, it's not all of them that are really trading to make money. It's not all of them that are really trading the financial market to make money like you and I. Let's look at the first one. We have the central bank of various countries. Now, basically, the central banks are not trading to make profit. Basically, the central bank are trading to regulate their currencies. They are trading to regulate their currency. Okay, sorry for that. Sorry for that. I will mute myself for some seconds. I want to do something. Sorry, I'm back. So as I was saying, the central bank, when they trade, they are basically trading to regulate their currency. And what do I mean by this? Now, when they're trading, when they notice that the value of their currency is dropping, that is going down too low, they don't want the value of their currency to continue to go down. So because of this, what they will do is they will inject money into the financial market. And injecting money into the financial market, what happens? You will just see that spike that moves the market upward. You see the spike that moves the market upward. Then, when they notice that the value of their currency is going too high, when it's going extremely too high, what will they do? When they notice that the value of their currency is going too high, they will what? they will extract money away from the financial market to drop this currency. Now, basically, this is why the central bank is trading. So they are basically trading to regulate their currency. Now, the second one is the commercial banks. Now, the commercial banks are trading to make money. Why? Because they have gotten your own pools of money. People will go drop their money in the commercial bank. You will say you are putting your money in fixed deposit. At the end of the day, they'll be giving you little penny. And funny enough, because these people have the skill set, they have money to employ good heads. They will employ good heads, and these people will be trading, making in 2 months, they might have even made like 100% or more of your capital. By the end of the day, at the end of the year, they'll be giving you 1%. So they are basically trading to make money. Now, the next one is the hedge funds. Hedge funds are also like the central bank. So the difference between the hedge funds and the commercial bank, the difference between the hedge funds and the commercial bank is that the commercial bank is being regulated. Now, hedge funds are basically companies that just tell you, oh, okay, we trade the financial market, you can bring in your money, we'll trade your money for you. Now, these are basically what the hedge funds do. So basically, they are there to make money, and they'll promise you, okay, I'll give you maybe 10% of your capital at the end of the month. But basically, what they are making is even far more than that because of the experience they have in the market. And lastly, we have individuals. Now, we have individuals like Warren Buffett, we have Bill Gates, we have George Soros. All these people have been trading for a long period of time. And because of their experience, they've been able to acquire large funds from the market. And they have huge capital to trade, in which when they enter the market, their presence is being felt. So maybe before we know it now, Madam Patient's name will also be among these individuals. Or we have Mr. Biodun John. Yes, we are waiting for your name to be here. So let's go on. If we are together, please type, just wave your hand. If we are together, please wave your hand. Okay, good. Thank you. Now let's go to the next topic. The next topic is Forex terminologies. Forex terminologies. Now, when we talk about Forex terminologies, the first thing I want us to understand is when you are trading the financial market, currencies are traded in pairs. Remember, when I was defining what Forex is, I said it is the simultaneous exchange of one currency against another currency. So what it means is when you want to trade the financial market, you cannot tell me that, oh, okay, I want to buy dollar, but I don't have any currency to buy it. No, I just want to buy dollar. I don't have any currency to buy it. It's not possible. So when we talk about trading the financial market, currencies are always traded in pairs. Now, one thing I also want you to understand is this: you cannot rearrange the way a currency is being paired. Now, if you look at my slide, I have Euro USD. You cannot tell me, oh, I don't want my currency to be paired at Euro USD. I want USD Euro. No, you cannot change the arrangement of a currency pair. Now, whatever platform you are using, you will see it as Euro USD like this. So you cannot change the way it is being paired. That is one. Now, number two, when you see a currency pair, any currency that comes first, any of that currency that comes first is always known as the base currency. Please note that. Any currency that comes first is always referred to as the base currency, while the second currency is referred to as the quote or the counter currency. I repeat, when you see a currency pair, any currency that comes first is known as the base currency, and the second one is known as the quote or the counter currency. So, and whatever you are doing, now basically when it comes to trading the financial market, you can basically do two things. And what are the two things? Is either you buy or you sell. Please, if you have any question, drop your question in the Q&A section. I'm going to attend to it. Thank you. Now, so there are two things you can do in the market. Either you buy or you sell. Now, when you decide to buy, what do I mean by this? When you decide to buy, what it means is this. Let's assume as that when you want to buy, the market is here. Sorry. Okay, let me clean this. Let me make it more straight. Let's assume that as at when you want to buy, the market happens to be here. Now, basically, for you to buy, it means that
you have analyzed the market and you are projecting that the value of that currency is going to appreciate, is going to go up. So what will you do? You will now position yourself. Now, it is not when the market begins to move, you will jump inside. You will have positioned yourself even before that upward move starts, which is at this point. So you'll have entered at this point and begin to wait for that upward move. And the moment the market, the moment the price now begins to go up, the moment you now see price begins to go up, then you are in money. So that is if you are buying. If you buy, that is if you buy. So also, if you are selling, what does this mean? It means that you are projecting that the value of a particular currency is going to fall, is going to depreciate. Let's say, as at when you projected, the price was here, and you are looking at it, there's a possibility that price is going to drop. So you are basically projecting that the value of a particular currency is going to drop, is going to fall at this point. So you will enter for what? You will enter for a sell. You will enter for a sell at this point and begin to wait for that downward move. And the moment the price begins to go down, you are also in money. So all you need to do is what? When you want to make money in the financial market, you need to position yourself in the right direction. That is all. It's because you can buy and you can sell. So you need to position yourself in the right direction. And the moment the market begins to move in that direction, you are making money. If we are together, please type in a yes on the chat box. If we are together, please type in a yes on the chat box. Okay, good. Good. Okay, now let's go on. So as you all see that you can make money now, when you decide, let's assume you decide to buy. Let's assume that you decide to buy Euro USD as we have it here. Let's assume you decide to buy. What does this mean? It means that you are buying Euro. You are buying Euro, which is the base currency. You are buying Euro. And the currency you have, the currency you are giving away to buy the Euro is US dollar. Let me go back to the example of the aboki. You went to meet an aboki. You tell an aboki you want to buy dollar. Now, because it is dollar you are buying, dollar is the base currency. And the currency you are using to buy the dollar is Naira. So, which means Naira is now the quote currency. I want to be sure. Do we understand? I want to be sure we understand it. If you understand this, please type in 1 on the chat box. If you understand this statement, please type in 1 on the chat box. It's only one person that I understand. Nobody is typing 1, but you did not ask question. Okay, please come again. Okay, good. I said you can basically do 2 things in the market, buy or sell. So I am using an illustration that let us assume you decide to buy Euro USD. What does this mean? Now, it means that if you want to buy Euro USD, what it means is what you are exactly buying is the Euro. And the currency you are using to buy the Euro is the US dollar. So what it means is whatever you are doing is always on the base currency. If you are buying, it means that it is the base currency you are buying. If you are selling, it means that it is the base currency you are selling. So if you decide to sell Euro USD, it means that you are selling Euro and in exchange, you are collecting US dollar back. And if you are buying, it means you are buying Euro and in exchange, you are giving out USD to buy the Euro. Please, do you understand this? If you understand this, now type in 2. If you understand this, please type in 2. Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I can see that we all understand. I want to be sure that we get it. So basically, in some way, what this means is whatever you are doing, either you're buying or you're selling, whatever you are doing is always on the base currency, and you are doing the reverse on the quote. whatever you're doing is on the base currency, and you are doing the reverse on the quote currency. That is how it works. So let's go to the next one. Okay, this is the example. These are some example of currencies that you can trade. We have the GBP USD, we have the NZD JPY, we have the AUD USD, we have the Euro NZD, we have USD JPY. And remember I said any currency that comes first is what? The base currency. And the second one is the quote or the counter currency. Okay, so let's go to the next one, which is currency pair is classified into three. Now, remember, we talked about currency pair, which is what we have just talked about. Now, every of these currency pair can be grouped into three different categories. So what it means is you should be able to look at a particular currency and determine the category it falls under. So every currency pair is grouped into three different categories. The first one is the major currency pair. The major currency pair. We have the first one as the major currency pair. The second one is the minor currency pair. And the third one is the exotic currency pair. So every currency pair that you are trading falls under any of these three different categories. And you should be able to look at a currency and determine the category that it falls under. Now, the question is, how do you know the category of a currency pair? How do you know, or how do you determine the category? Now, let's go back to when I was talking about the most traded currency. This is where we need it. When I was talking about the most traded currency. Okay, good. Now, who can tell me? I said, from where is the major currency? From where do we say we have the major currency when we're talking about the most traded currency? I want to be sure. From which of these currency do we have the major currency? I want to be sure we are together. Thank you, Madam Basirat. Yes, Madam Basirat, thank you very much. From Swiss francs upward, thank you very much. From Swiss francs upward, that is where it is Madam Basirat that answered it perfectly, and I love that. From Swiss francs upward. So I said from Swiss francs upward is known as the major currency. Good. Now, to identify the major currency pair. Now, there's a difference between major currency and major currency pair. To identify the major currency pair, any of these major currency, that is between euro to Swiss francs, any of these major currency paired with US dollar is known as major currency pair. I repeat, to identify a major currency pair, any of these major currency, that is euro, Japanese yen, GBP, Australian dollar, AUD, Swiss francs, paired with US dollar. So if we have Euro USD, if we have USD JPY, if we have GBP USD, if we have AUD USD, if we have USD CAD, if we have USD CHF, they are known as major currency. So major currency pair. So to identify a major currency pair, then you should be able to see number one, is any of this currency part of a major currency? Then two, is it paired with US dollar? So the moment the answer to this is yes, then you say, oh, this is the major currency pair. If we understand, please let's wave our hands. If you understand, please let's wave our hands. Okay, good. Thank you. Now, let's go to how we can identify the minor currency pair. The minor currency pair. We've talked about the major currency pair. Now, how do we identify the minor currency pair? Now, to identify the minor currency pair, any of these major currency, now we are not including USD now, any of these other major currency paired together. So it means that for you to say it is a minor currency pair, it must fall under the major currency, but it will not have US dollar with it. So the moment we begin to have something like this, if we have Euro JPY, we have Euro GPP, we have Euro AUD, we have GPP JPY, something like that. If you look at it, we can see that each of them falls under this major currency, but does not have US dollar. So both of them falls under this major currency, but doesn't have US dollar. So then we call them the minor currency pair. So to identify a minor currency pair, it means that any of these major currency paired together, in as much as it's a major currency, but it does not have US dollar, then it is known as minor currency. But when we now have any of the major currency paired with US dollar, is known as major currency. Please, if you are able to differentiate this, please type in yes on the chat box. If you can easily differentiate this, please type in yes on the chat box. Okay. Some people are saying yes, some people are saying no. Okay, let me repeat it again. For those that are saying no. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Now, to identify a major currency, we are talking about major currency pair, minor currency pair, and we have the exotic currency pair, Now, to identify a major currency pair, to identify that a currency falls under a major currency pair. Now, the criterion is this. Any of this major currency, that is from Swiss francs upward, any of this major currency paired with US dollar is known as major currency pair. Any of this major currency paired with US dollar is known as major currency pair. So if we have Euro USD, major currency, USD JPY, major currency, GPP USD, major currency, AUD USD, major currency, USD CAD, major currency, USD CHF, major currency. Any of these major currency paired with US dollar is known as the major currency pair. Now, to identify a minor currency pair, now, any of these major currencies paired together. So this time around, it falls under the major currency, but it does not have US dollar with it. So in as much as we now have like something like Euro JPY, Euro GPP, GPP JPY, AUD, Euro AUD, Euro JPY, Euro GPP, in as much as these two are paired together, they don't have US dollar, then we say they fall under the minor currency pair. I hope this helps. I hope this is better now. I hope this is better. Please, if you understand it, please type in 1 on the chat box. If you understand now, please type in 1 on the chat box. Okay, good. That's good. Thank you. Now, the third one is the exotic currency pair. Now, how do you identify the exotic currency pair? Now, to identify the exotic currency pair, now we now have any of this minor currency paired with the major currency. Any of this minor currency paired with the major currency. So it means that it might either be the base, it might be the code, it's insignificant. But you must be able to see one of the major and one of the minor currency. Then when you see this, you say this is an exotic currency pair. So when you see Chinese USD or Chinese Euro Chinese or JPY Chinese, when you begin to see it like the Mexico USD, then it is known as the exotic currency pair. I hope we now understand and we are able to differentiate the major currency, the major currency pair, and the exotic currency pair. So let's go back to our slide. To see the examples. At least you should be able to differentiate it now. So let's go back to our slide to be able to, okay, good. Now, if you look at the example, you can see major currency pair. You can see Euro, USD, GBP, USD, AUD, USD, USD, CHF, USD, CAD, USD, JPY, ZD, USD. That is the major currency. Then under the minor currency, you can see example. We have Euro, GBP, NZD, CHF. We have Euro, NZD. We have CAD, JPY. We have CAD, CHF. All these are the minor currency. And the third one is the exotic currency. So let's go to the exotic. You can see now we have USD, Mexico, Euro, Turkey, GBP, DKK, USD, ZAR, CHF, NOK, and you can see. So we have one major and one minor. So that is how to differentiate an exotic currency. If we are together, please wave your hand. If we are together to this point, please wave your hands. Good. I hope you are enjoying yourself and I hope you're enjoying the class. So let's go to the next topic, which is price. Price. Now, what is price? As you can see it from my slide, I said price is the rate at which one currency is exchanged for another currency. Price is the rate at which one currency is exchanged for another currency. Now, for everyone, when you want to buy $1 from Aboki, the first thing you ask them is, how much is dollar? And that is price. And that's why we say it is the rate at which one currency is exchanged for another currency. Now, when we talk about the financial market, there we have two types of price. When we talk about the financial market, we have two types of price. We have the bid price and we have the ask price. When we talk about the financial market, we have two types of price. We have the bid price and we have the ask price. Now, what is the difference between the bid price and the ask price? Now, let me write it here, the bid price. The bid price is the price at which the trader sells a particular currency pair to the broker, and it is always known as the lower price. So basically, the bid price is the price at which a trader sells a particular currency pair to the broker. Don't worry, I will explain it better. While the second one, which is the ask price, So this is the price at which the trader buys a particular currency pair from the broker. And this is always the higher price. Now, let me explain this in a layman knowledge. Now, when you decide to go and buy dollar from the Aboki, now who can tell me if you are buying dollar or you are selling dollar, which will be higher? You went to meet an Aboki, you want to buy dollar from Aboki, or you want to sell dollar to Aboki, which will be higher? Buy or sell, which will be higher? Who can tell me which will be higher? Okay, good. Mr. Justice, buy will be higher. If you go and meet an Aboki and you want to buy, you tell the Aboki, Aboki, how much be dollar? Aboki will ask you, do you want to buy or you want to sell? I want to buy. So the buy will be higher. And that is why we said the ask price. This is the price at which a trader buys a particular currency pair from the broker. So it is exactly the same thing. Why the bid price, if you now want to sell a particular currency pair to the broker, the broker will be giving you using the bid price, which is the lower price. Now, the difference between the price the Aboki will be giving you and the price that the financial market is giving you is this. Now, the Aboki buys from the financial market. So the rate tends to be higher because the Aboki, it is the financial market that will determine the rate the Aboki will buy. And as a result, it will also have its own markup. So you won't be getting the real value of that currency from the Aboki. But the same way it works is the same way it works here. So it means that the bid price, when you decide to sell a particular currency to the broker, then you'll be selling using the bid price. But when you decide to buy, you'll be buying using the ask price. If we understand this, please type in 1 on the chat box. Okay, good. So that's the difference between the bid price and the ask price. So, and if you look at my slide, here, you will see that this is a screenshot of the chart. You can see this is where we have the bid price, and this is where we have the ask price for the same currency pair. So if you want to sell, this is the price you'll be getting. But if you are buying, this is the price you'll be entering the market. So if you want to sell, this is the price you'll be entering the market as at this time. And if you want to buy, this is the price you'll be entering as at this time. Now, the truth is this, when this is just when the screenshot was taken. Now, basically, price fluctuates. So you cannot determine, it depends on the current price. So it continues to fluctuate. When you enter is when you enter, but it will fall within the range at which you are seeing. So that is how it works. I hope we understand this. If you understand, please just wave your hands. If you understand, please wave your hands. Remember, if you have questions, you can drop your question in the Q&A section. I'm going to attend to it at the end of today's class. I'm going to attend to it at the end of the class so that we won't be caught up. So basically, the bid price is the price at which the broker sells, the trader sells to the broker, while the ask price is the price at which the trader buys from the broker. So that's basically what it means. And the bid price is always lower than the ask price. The bid price is always lower than the ask price. Are we together? Now let's go to the next topic, which is spread. Now, spread is the difference between the ask price and the bid price. That is between the highest and the lowest. That is spread. And this is basically how the broker makes their money. This is basically how the broker makes their money. So spread is the difference between the ask price and the bid price. So it means that if you fund your trading account and you don't trade, the broker will not make money. Why? Because you only pay spread anytime you begin to trade. That you fund your trading account and you don't trade, the broker is not making money. It is until you now begin to trade, which is where we get our spread and make our money. And that's why we say spread, broker makes their money from the spread. Trader pays spread every time they place a trade. So spread is like the cost on transaction you pay every time you place a trade. So I hope you understand it. So it's just the difference between the ask and bid. Now, if you look at this, we have 0.98805 and we have 0.98817. Now, all you need to do is differentiate, subtract it. So this is basically one. Okay, I've not gotten there. You may not understand, but we'll call it 1 pips. So 1 pip spread, which is how the broker makes their money. So don't worry, we have gotten to the pips. Good. So this is pips, which I've just mentioned. Now, what is pips? We call it percentage in point. Percentage in point. Pips is known as percentage. Please don't understand the spread. Madam Basira said she doesn't understand the spread. The spread is just, as I said, the spread is just the difference between the bid price and the ask price. Now, let me use it to explain. Now, if you go to an Aboki and you decide to sell dollar to him. You sell dollar to him. Will he be giving you at a higher price or a lower price? Who can answer that? If you go to an aboki and you decide to sell dollar to him, will he be giving you at a lower price or at a higher price? Who can answer that? Will he be giving you at a lower price or at a higher price? Thank you, a lower price. Good. Now, this same dollar that you have sold to an aboki, another person will call him and say he wants to buy that same dollar. Now, when aboki wants to now sell it, you have sold to an aboki at a lower price. When the aboki decides to now sell it to another person, will he be giving them at a higher price or at a lower price? Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Thank you. It will be given at an higher price. Now, that difference is the profit the aboki makes, which is the same thing here. So, Madam Basirat, have I answered your question? It is exactly the same thing here. So, the ask price, I said, is the higher price. The bid price is the lower price. So it means that when you sell, now because we have many traders on our platform, when you enter for a sell, another person somewhere will enter for a buy. The same trade. So it means that difference is where the broker makes money. So I hope that has helped us and we all understand. So if you understand clearer now, please type in 1 on the chat box. Please type in 1 on the chat box. If you understand clearly, please type in 1 on the chat box. Good. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so let's go on to pips. Pips. Now, as I said, the full meaning of pips is Mr. Isaiah said he doesn't understand. Don't worry, this class is recorded. You can watch the recording. You can watch the recordings and watch it all over again. The class is recorded. Okay, so the next one is pips. What is pips? We call it percentage in point. Percentage in point, and is the measure of price movement over a given period of time. So basically, in the financial market, when price is moving, we use the term pips. So let's assume price move from here and it went up to this point. All we need to do is calculate the number. I will say price has moved. Let's say we say price has moved 10 pips. 10 pips. So when we want to determine the movement of price, we use pips in the financial market. Now, how do you identify the pips? How do you identify the pips? Now, let's talk about how to identify pips. Now, in most currency pairs, when trading, in most currency pair, pips, like let's say if we have Euro USD, price is always like this, 1.1, 2, 3, 4, something like this. I don't know if this is the current price, but it's always arranged like this. Now, pip is always the fourth digit. The fourth digit after the decimal. Pips is always the fourth digit after the decimal. Now, if you look at what I have written here, you can see that this is where we have the decimal, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This 5 here is the pip. This 5 here is the pip. Sorry, this 5 is the pip, and this 6 here, we call it the pipet. Okay, let me see if I clean it. Or let me clean it so it will not be confusing. So let me write it again. We have price to be written as something like this. Now, the pip, this is the pip digit after the decimal. Why the second one is the pipet? So we have pip and we have pipet. Now, pipet is like seconds in a minute. That's what I like to use, seconds in a minute. Now, if I ask you what says the time, nobody will tell me, oh, the time is 5 minutes to 5 minutes past 9, 24 seconds. You won't tell me the second. So this is just, the pipette is like a second. Now we can see that we have 7 here. When it continues to increase and we have 8, we have 9, the moment it gets to 9 and it moves on, it gets to 0, and 5 will change to 6. So that's why we call it seconds in a minute. So for most currency pair, the pipette, the pip is the 4th digit after the decimal, and this is the decimal. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's why we have 5 as the pip. Are we together? So basically, when we now want to measure price, any figure after the any figure after this what's name after these pips or before these pips is important. Any figure before these pips is important, but we always ignore the pipette in most cases. Not in all cases, but in most cases, we ignore the pipette. Now we have some exemption, and the exemptions are for any currency that has JPY. Any currency that has JPY, it may be Euro JPY, or we have USD JPY, or we have GPP JPY. Any currency that has JPY, the way price is being arranged is different. Now the arrangement is always like something like this, or maybe like this. So something like this, that is for any currency that has JPY. So price is always arranged like this. Now to identify the pip and the pipette, for this case, the pip is always the second digit. The second digit after the decimal. The pip is the second digit after the decimal for any currency that has JPY. So for this case, we can see that here 5 is the pip and 0 here is the pipette. Then here we have 1 here is the pip and we have 2 here as the pipette. So we can say this is pip. Then we have pipette here. So, and here too we have pip, and here we have pipette. I hope you understand this. Please, if you understand this, please type in 1 on the chat box. If you understand this, please type in 1 on the chat box. Okay, good. Now, let me be sure we understand it. Let's do some mathematical calculation. I'll first do an example, and I will now give a classwork while we are here. Now, let me give an example. So let me give an example of price movement, and I will do a calculation. Then after that, I'll give a classwork so that I'll be sure that we got the explanation. Okay, so the example is this. Now let's assume that you find yourself in a signal group. Let's assume you find yourself in a signal group, and they said, okay, let's sell. This is just an example. Okay, let me see. Okay, they say, okay, let's Euro USD. Don't mind me, I like to use Euro USD. They say Euro USD, we should sell. Now they said we should sell our entry price, that is, we call it the EP, entry price. Entry price. And this means the price you are expected to enter the market. When they say EP, some people call it EP, some people call it entry price. Now, it means the price you should enter the market. So let's assume that they said you should enter at 1.16833. Let's say they ask you that. So it means that for you to enter this currency pair, you must wait until price get to this around this point. So it may not get exactly, but it must be very close to this price. Then they said TP, we call it TP. Now what TP means is we call it take profit. Take profit. So we call it TP. So now I will explain this. They said you should take profit at 1.16656. Then the next parameters is SL, stop loss. Stop loss. SL. Now, for those that have been joining different signal group, you will have understand all these terms. But for those that are new, I will explain it to us. And we have 1.16876. Now, let's assume that this signal was called. Let's assume this signal. Now, what it means is for every signal that is called, a good signal should have an entry price, then an exit price. Now, when we now talk about exits can either be you leaving the market in profit or you are leaving the market in loss. That is why we say exit can be either you are leaving the market in profit or you are leaving the market in loss. Now, let me explain what take profit means. Now, we are told to sell. What this means is this, that let's assume when this signal was called, the price was around this point. And they asked us to enter for a sell. They asked us to enter for a sell. Now, what it means is that they are projecting that the value will drop. And when it drops, you'll begin to make money. So this line is the entry price. We have the EP. Now, the stop loss, I love to call it a safety net. A safety net. And what does this mean? It means that peradventure price refuses to drop. Peradventure price refuses to drop, and instead it's still going up. I don't want to risk my entire capital on this trade. So when the market gets to this point, please let me accept my loss. That is what stop loss means. Because if you don't set a stop loss, what you are basically telling the market is, Oga, I'm risking my entire capital for this trade, which is wrong. So what it means is when you enter a trade, you must set your stop loss, because you are not, remember, what you are doing is just a projection, and you don't want to risk all your capital on a projected direction, because what if it doesn't go? So that's why when you put your stop loss, you're telling the market, peradventure it refuses to drop and it begins to buy. I don't want to risk my entire capital. When it gets to this place, please let me accept my loss. Why the third one is to take profit, meaning that, oh, okay, the market, I don't want the entire $7.2 trillion. I don't want the entire. Please, I don't want to be greedy. When the market gets to this point, I am enough. I am okay. Please let me come out of the trade in profit. And that's why we call it the TP. Please, do we understand all these parameters? If you understand all these parameters, just type in 2 on the chat box. If you understand all these parameters, please type in 2 on the chat box. Good. Okay, good. So now let's go on. Now we want to do our calculation. We want to explain the parameters. Now the calculation we want to do is we want to know the number of pips for our stop loss and the number of pips for our take profit. Now there's a formula. Let me help us with the formula. Please, I want you to write this down, because when I give you another classwork, you should be able to do the calculation. Now, if it's on a sell, this is the formula to calculate number of pips for both stop loss and take profit. Now, if it's a sell, the stop loss, the formula to calculate the number of pips for the stop loss equals, if it's a sell, it equals SL minus EP. That is stop loss, the parameter for stop loss minus the parameter for entry price. That is for the number of pips for stop loss. And the number of pips for take profit equals equals EP minus TP. Then the reverse is the case for a buy. Now, so for a buy, the SL will be equals EP minus SL, while the take profit TP will be equals TP minus EP. So this is the formula. This is the formula that you always use to get the number of pips for the stop loss and the number of pips for the take profit. Now let's do our own calculation. Remember, what we want to do here, it is a sell, so we'll be using the first formula, and the first formula is SL for the stop loss. Now for the stop loss, the formula is SL, and the parameter for SL is 1.16876. The parameter is 1.16876, and the second one is the entry price. The parameter for entry price is 1.16833. So you have to subtract. We have to subtract. We have to subtract and get the answer. Now remember, this is pipette. Remember, this is pipette. Remember, this is pipette. So we are excluding. We won't do anything on the pipette. Our calculation, our subtraction, we start from the pip. We want to subtract. So that's 7 minus 3. So 7 minus 3. Okay, we have 7 minus 3, which is 4. Then 8 minus 8 is 0. 6 minus 6 is 0. 1 minus 1, 0. And we have 0. So what it means is, for this trade, we are risking 4 pips. So for this trade, we are risking 4 pips. Now, the next one is now the take profit. What are we going to, where are we going? This number of pips for the take profit. And for the number of pips for the take profit, remember the formula is EP minus TP. So EP is 1.16833 minus 1.16656. So that is it. So let's get the answer for this. Let's get the answer for this. And remember again that this is our pipette. We don't need to look at the pipette. This is the pipette. Exclude the pipette and we start the calculation. So we have 5 minus 3, impossible. We'll borrow 1 from 8. So that would be 8. This one will be 7. Then 13 minus 8, which is what? We have 13 minus 5. So we have 8. 13 minus 5, we have 8. Then 7 minus 6, we have 1. Then the next one, which is 6 minus 6, we have 0. 1 minus 1, we have 0. 1 minus 1, we have 0. So what this means is we are risking 4 pips to make 18 pips. Please, if you understand this, please type in yes on the chat box. If you understand this, type in yes on the chat box. Okay, yes. Okay, Mr. Wale is saying no. Mr. Wale, what you can do is you can watch it all over again, because I try to be more clear. Time is fast spent. So you can watch it all over again. The class is recorded. Yes, you will get the recordings from the person that invited you. Okay, good. I can see many yes. Thank you very much. So for those that don't get it, I think it's maybe your network was breaking when we were explaining. So now, what it means for this trade is you are risking 4 pips to make 18 pips based on the example. Now, let us give us a little classwork before we continue. that we got it. I'm going to give us a classwork, and anybody that is able to also do it should drop it on the chat. So let me give us a classwork, because I want to be sure that we get it, because all these things are important to the success of our trade in future. So let me look at another example to drop. Let's see, let me drop. I'm trying to look for something more. I'm trying to think of something more realistic. Okay, so let me drop an example here. So let's use this one. So the example we use is a sell. I want to use buy, and I want to use another parameters. Okay, oh, so I'm seeing another sell. And I hope we have written down the formula, because I've cleaned the formula. Let me see that one. Okay, good. I've seen another one. So this time around, we have GPP, JPY. And they said it's a buy. The entry price, we have the entry price, that's the EP, to be 152.000. The SL, that is the stop loss, is 151.300. Then the TP equals, the TP equals 153.500. So who can tell me first? Let's see the first person that we got, they get it now. The number of pips for stop loss and the number of pips for take profit. Oh yeah, everybody, who is the first person that will give us the answer? Number of pips for stop loss and the number of pips for take profit. Oh yeah, we are waiting. So yeah, it's going to be the first person to drop it. Yeah, we're waiting. It's not a sell, though, it's a buy. I can see someone saying sell. Don't use calculator, Mr. Steven, Simon. When I was doing my own, I did not put decimal. Please, we don't need decimal. Stop using calculator. Do it the way I did it, please. It is wrong. Nobody is getting the answer for the stop loss. Nobody has gotten it at all. Yes, Mr. Justice. I think Mr. Justin is still the person that is close, but I don't like the decimal you are putting. I don't like the decimal. I don't want to see decimal. I don't want to see decimal. I think it's only Mr. Justice that is close. Okay, fine. Mr. Eboki risking 70, fine. To get 150, no. Risking, so you got the stop loss, but you are not getting the take profit. So you are yet to do it. Okay, because of our time, let me do it again here. So please, TP is, okay, let me do it here because of our time. So our stop loss, remember we are buying. So it will be EP minus SL. Thank you, Mr. Iboki. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing. I think you are the first person to get it exactly. Thank you, Mr. Iboki. You're risking 70 pips to get 150 pips. Yeah, I give you a clap for that. You got it. You're the first person to get both the stop loss and the take profit. Good. So let's just do it for those that don't understand it. So it's, remember we are buying. So it will be EP minus SL, which is 152.000 minus 151.300. So now with this, let's do a calculation. And remember I said you will exclude the pipette, which is this. So then we start with this. 0 minus 0, we have 0. 0 minus 3, impossible, you borrow 1 from here. That's 10 minus 3, which is 7. Then we have borrowed 1 from here, so we have 1 left. So we have 0, 0, 0. So remember, with this, we have excluded pipette, which is this. So the pips starts from 70. The pips is 70, which is 70 pips. So this is how we got 70 pips. Now for the take profit, let's do the take profit. For the take profit, the take profit is now TP minus EP, which is 153.500 minus 152.000. So let's do the math again. Just read it here. We are subtracting again. Remember, we are excluding the pipette, which is this. So we are excluding this. We are not including this. Then let's now do the math here. So we have 0 minus 0, we have 0. 5 minus 0, we have 5. 3 minus 2, we have 1. Then 5 minus 5, we have 0. 1 minus 1, we have 0. And that is how we got 150 pips. Now, we don't need decimal. When you're calculating pips, just ignore the decimal. So you can see that's why I said it is Mr. Iboki that got it right. You are risking 70 pips to get 150 pips. So it's no more than this. I hope you understand it. I hope we all understand. So because of our time, we may not be able to take more examples, but I hope you understand. So you can also practice on your own again so that you can get used to it. So that is pips. Now, the last topic we'll be looking at is lot size. Lot size. Now, basically, lot size is the risk a trader is willing to take at a particular point in time. The risk a trader is willing to take at a particular point in time. So, and lot size is grouped into 3 different categories. It is lot size that we allow 2 people to enter the same trade, and at the end of the day, they are not making the same profit. That is because of the lot size. So now lot size is in 3 different categories. As I said, we have the micro lot, we have the mini lot, and we have the standard lot. Now for a micro lot, which is the first one, the micro lot, it ranges. Micro lot ranges from 0.01 to 0.09. It ranges from 0.01 to 0.09. Now, for a trader that use a lot size of 0.01, what this means is when price move your direction, the value of pips using 0.01, the value of pips is 10 cents. That is what it means. So if you now when you want to enter a trade, it is you that will set your stop loss, your loss size. Sorry, you are the one that will set your loss size. Now, when you set your loss size and use 0.01, now and price move your direction 1 pip, the value of that 1 pip is 10 cents. So it means if price goes your direction 1 pip is going to give you 10 cents, and if it goes against your direction 1 pip is going to take 10 cents from you. So if you use a loss size of 0.02, the value of pips using a loss size of 0.02 is 20 cents. So it means that if trader A and trader B, one person used 0.01, another person used 0.02, then the person that used 0.02 is going to be making more than the person that used 0.01. And if it's risky too, it will be risky. If he loses too, he will be losing more than it. So basically, the loss size, that's why we say it is a risk. It's the risk a trader is willing to take. Now, if you use 0.03, the value of pips, if price move your direction 1 pip, the value of pips is 30 cents. The value of pips is 30 cents. If you use 0.03, and that is how it goes. So if you use 0.09, the value of pips is 90 cents. 90 cents. I hope you understand this. And this is an advice capital. Now, the advice capital, what it means is this. If you have $100 in your trading capital, then I will advise you that you should not use more than 0.01, one trade at a time. What I mean by one trade at a time is wait until that trade gets to your take profit or to your stop loss before you enter another one. Now, if you are able to do this before you can blow your entire capital, then price will have to go against you 1,000 pips before you can blow your entire capital of $100. If you have $100 and use 0.01, one trade at a time, before you can lose this entire $100, then price needs to go against you 1,000 pips. And I don't want to believe that price will go against you 10 pips, it did not do anything. 100 pips, it did not do anything. 200 pips, it did not do anything. 300 pips, you are saying Holy Spirit. 400 pips, you are saying fire. Nothing will happen. That is the truth. So that is how you can keep your capital without blowing it. Now, if you have a $200 trading account, if you have $200, then you can use 0.02, one trade at a time, or 0.01, two trades at a time. I repeat, if you have a $200 account, then you can use 0.02, one trade at a time, or you decide to spread your risk, use 0.01, then enter two trades at a time if you have a $200 account. Please, if you are together, please just wave your hands. If we are together, please wave your hand. Okay, good. Now, if you have a $300 account, then you can use 0.03, one trade at a time, or now begin to spread your risk. You can enter one is 0.02, then another one is 0.01, or you can enter 3 trades and use 0.01 or 2. And that is how it goes until you get to $900 account. So this is for what? A micro lot, which is the smallest risk. So basically, a micro lot ranges from 0.01 to 0.09. Now let's go to the next category of lot size, which is a mini lot. Now for a mini lot, it ranges from 0.1 to 0.9. For a mini lot, it ranges from 0.1 to 0.9. And what this means is, if you use a mini lot of 0.1, the value of pips using 0.1 is $1. So it means if price goes your direction, 1 pip to give you $1. And if it goes against your direction, it should take $1 from you if you use 0.1. Then if you use 0.2, the value of pips is $2. The value of pips, that is, if price moves your direction, it's going to give you $2. If you use 0.3, the value of pips is $3. And that's how it goes until you get to 0.9, which is the value of pips is $9. So that is $9. And for you to use this lot size, then you should have a minimum of $1,000 before you are expected to use 0.1. you are expected to have a minimum of one. So that's the next. Then let's go to the last one, which is a standard lot. Now, a standard lot ranges from 1.0 to infinity. So you can use 10.0, 20.0, 1,000.0, 1,000,000.0. It's a standard lot is to infinity. But what it means is if you use a standard lot of 1.0, then the value of pips is $10. The value of pips is $10. If you use a standard lot of 1.0, the value of pips is $10. Now, if you use a standard lot of 2.0, the value of pips is $20. If price move your direction 1 pip, it will give you $20. And if it goes against your direction, it will take $20 from you. Then if you use 3.0, the value of pips is $30. And that's how it goes until you get to 9.0, in which the value of pips is $90. And before you can use a standard lot, the minimum capital you're expected to have is $10,000. $10,000 before you are expected. This is just an advice. You can decide to use more than. It's just an advice. Now, I can see someone asking me, Mr. Prince asking me, but when you are sure of your analysis and you have $200, can you increase your lot size? Now, the truth is, yes, you can increase it, but you must be sure of your. I do advise. Now, this advice is because you are just new in this business. As you go on in this business, experience will tell you when and what you want to do. But because you are new, you are still getting used to the system. That is why I am giving you all this advice. So, and you can't rule the importance of experience. So over time, you can do and undo in this business. That's the beauty. But for a beginner, please stick with the rules until you get used to the business before you can begin to do and undo. Okay, so let's look at our questions. Let me see if I have questions here. Okay, Mr. Kenny said, please, can I get the screen? Okay, I've answered this. Okay, Mr. Juba, Isaiah Juba said, I want to ask a question. Oh, I can't see your question, Mr. Isaiah Juba. You can ask your question. Okay, normally I'll say, lovely section. Please, can this recording be shared with us like how mail? Okay, if you need this recording, all you need to do is contact the person that invited you. Let me stop the recording. So we've come to the end of the question section. I'm trying to take question and answer. Let me stop recording.